So I have to say this, the Jaguar rebrand is the single worst rebrand I have ever seen. As a petrolhead, it offends me, but as a marketer, as a branding expert, it offends me even more. Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Ministry of Car. This has been the Utkarsh Mohan channel. I've decided to make it more about cars, a rebrand myself, and how ironic that we're covering a rebrand. Now, we're going to do this in a structured way. I don't just want to be a reaction that I hate what Jaguar has done. Let's do it in a structured way. Let's look at it from a marketing standpoint, right? And to do this from a marketing standpoint, to understand the Jaguar rebrand, first we need to understand what Jaguar is before. What is the brand that is getting rebranded? What's a good way to describe Jaguar? I would say it's a British brand with racing history and with style. So that would put it in similar territory to the Italian brands that have racing history and style, right? Ferrari, which is of course a lot more higher end. Maserati at a similar end of the spectrum as Jaguar. So the Jaguar would be the stylish and more British alternative to the typical German executive saloon like a BMW, Mercedes and Audi. So that's what Jaguar is supposed to be. Their very large saloons are also very good to drive. It's kind of in the BMW land that they're supposed to be great to drive and very stylish. BMWs are great to drive, not that stylish. So that's kind of, you get a little bit of that style, good to drive, and of course that Britishness. That's what makes Jaguar. Okay, and a long racing history. A lot of people know about this. Now, let's get into what the campaign is, and we're going to evaluate in a typical way that a typical marketing branding executive, someone like me, when I'm making a decision for a brand that I'm managing, and I did manage a brand that is, I think, much larger than Jaguar, how would I evaluate a new campaign? How would I evaluate a new piece of advertising, a new piece of copy, a new piece of communication? But first, let's look at this. Okay, Instagram is open. I'm just going to play it. Okay, maybe I should just put some music. Create exuberant, live, vivid, delete ordinary, break molds, bunch of people sitting together, copy nothing, Jaguar. Okay, I don't think I can bear to watch this again. Okay, let's do this. Let's talk about the typical ways that I would evaluate a campaign to be successful, meeting its objective. Right? You have a campaign, firstly, that's recognizable as the brand. It's on equity. Equity basically means the identity of a brand. What does it stand for? So the first question is the campaign on equity? Of course, do note that this is a rebrand, so we'll give it some latitude there. But nonetheless, something of the brand has to remain. So is the campaign on equity? Number two. Sorry, you'll have to excuse me. I had to let my dog back into the room. So we talked about equity. Number two, positive response. Is the campaign, is the piece of communication eliciting a positive response, a positive emotional response? That's the number two. Number three, is it distinctive? Does it catch attention? Does it stand out from everything else? Number four, how do you say this? Is it holistic? Is it an idea that can go across platforms? Can it go on the internet? Can it go in physical? Can it go in the store or in the showroom? Right? That's the fourth one. Fifth one is it on message? Is it conveying, when I say on message, is it conveying the benefit of the brand, of the product? Are we doing any of these things? Now let's talk about all of these things. Number one, equity. Is it on equity? Now let's think about what Jaguar is. British, racing heritage, stylish, and stylish is very feline, it's expressed in car design, right? It's a very particular kind of style, right? It's more on the, what should I say? It's more on the, even though, James Bond doesn't drive a Jaguar and Aston Martin is in that territory, and Aston Martin and Jaguar are a little different as well. But it's more on that particular, a certain kind of classic style. Now, what I see over here is something that has no resemblance to Jaguar equities, none. even given that this is a rebrand, great rebrands still have an essence of the initial brand. Otherwise, why keep the initial brand, right? Just create a brand new brand. The reason that you're keeping the Jaguar name is you want some of the basic essentials of the Jaguar name. And this has got nothing to do with it. Like zero. I was looking for something to do with it, something hinting at Jaguar. I scored this a 0 out of 10. A 0 out of 10 in equity, honestly. By the way, a short detour before I get into the rest of it. There are often hallucinations presented by creative agencies to marketers, where agencies are trying to sell some great award-winning, great new idea to marketers who own the budgets and want them to buy in. This looks like what's happened here. It's a terrible, terrible idea. Wouldn't have made it past my desk. Anyways, let me not be too emotional, but I guess I like the brand. I like Jaguar. And of course, the Jaguar is, of course, owned by the Tata Group in India. So I feel even more a little bit annoyed at what's going on. But anyways, let's move past this particular bit. Let's talk about the second thing, positive response. And I'm talking two things here. Positive response, is this eliciting a positive response? And number two, is it driving an emotional connect? Let's talk the latter. Emotional connect, this is hollow. This is just a bunch of different, it's got as much emotional connect as a fashion runway. In fact, it looks like a fashion runway. There is no emotional connect here. You've got bright colors, but okay, what's the emotion? What's the message? What is this? Just generic copy, right? You could ask AI to generate generic copy. Look at the copy. Let's read it again. I'm trying to figure out what emotions am I feeling. Create exuberant. Okay, just writing exuberant doesn't make me exuberant. Live, vivid. Yes, the colors are vivid. What's the emotion here? Delete ordinary. My God. Right? If you see somebody doing something, truly non-ordinary, think of what Red Bull did with the jump from space or whatever, then I can understand. That's something you're building, you're eliciting an emotion. So no emotion connection here. Is it eliciting a positive response? Let's read the comments. Sending hate. Congratulations, you have killed a British icon. General public, please make good reliable cars again. What is this, a skincare company now? It's negative. There is no positive response over here. These are the most popular ones, right? You can't sort through it. I'm trying to find somebody who has got something good to say about this. And it's not that it's always negative, right? I have done campaigns where there has been positive response. So, sorry, no positive response, 0 out of 10. Let's get to the next one. Is it distinctive? Is it distinctive in the context of an advertising campaign? I think no. You have got hundreds of things doing all sorts of things, skincare brands, fashion brands. It's not distinctive. Is it distinctive in the context of a car brand? Yes, I will have to give it that. It is distinctive. So I'm not giving a 0 out of 10 over here. I'm giving it a 8 out of 10 on being distinctive. But again, these things don't work in isolation. Just because it's distinctive, just because it catches attention, doesn't necessarily mean it's good. Right? You have to not only catch attention, you have to elicit a positive response. You have to create positive equity in people's mind if you elicit a certain behavior. So it is distinctive. Let me give it 10 out of 10. 10 on being distinctive. But that's not necessarily a good thing in this context. Okay, what's next? Holistic. Is this a campaign that can go across? Can I imagine this campaign in the showroom? Can I imagine this campaign on the internet? Well, I can. I'm looking at it right now. Can I imagine it in Instagram? Can I imagine it in short form? Can I imagine it in the product? Does it bring something about the product to life? 5 out of 10? Not really. I don't see how this comes to life at the most important point of sale. The showroom. What, are you going to have a fashion runway in the showroom? Our Jaguar showroom is going to turn bright pink and orange and yellow? I don't even think I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I don't know. Am I being too cynical? I don't know. It's bad. It's bad. It's not particularly holistic. Okay, let's give it a 5 out of 10. Let me be kind. Last one, on benefit, on message. What is the benefit that Jaguar is bringing to life here? So let's talk about other car companies, right? BMW. Let's talk about one of BMW's iconic taglines, the ultimate driving machine. What does that mean? It basically means there's a product promise that every BMW you drive will be great to drive. Whether you're driving a small 3 Series or a large 7 Series. I drive a BMW 7 Series. It is still good to drive, even though it's a large limousine. So there you have a benefit, which is being fun to drive, regardless of the kind of vehicle you have, being brought to life in a tagline, and being brought to life on the product. What is the benefit here? And another pitfall is multiple benefits. One rule we're taught on the first day of marketing, or whatever it is, I learned in my marketing stuff in Procter & Gamble, is you generally don't have multiplicity of benefits. You have a clear thing that the brand stands for, a clear point of difference. Here, looks like not ordinary is the benefit. Okay. I'm struggling to see what exactly it is. It's too esoteric for me to figure out. What you're basically saying is you're different. Okay, every brand says that they're different. So this is not a distinctive benefit. This is not a particular benefit that I'm able to dial down to a product through to a product feature, to a product design brief. What is this? So as far as benefit being on message, I need to see the brief for this. Honestly, I would love it if somebody who's working in the agency or working for Jaguar would share it with me. I would love to see the brief that produced this nonsense. Right? Sorry, 0 out of 10. So let's go back. I've written it here. On equity, 0 out of 10. Positive response, emotional connect, 0 out of 10. Distinctive, 8 or 10 out of 10. I can't remember. Holistic, 5 out of 10. On message, 0 out of 10. This is terrible. There are some examples of terrible brand relaunches. The most famous one in the marketing community is the Tropicana repackaging, where they completely changed how Tropicana looked and it was a disaster. Now, the good thing for Jaguar over here is that they are not exactly selling product right now. I believe that they're on a hiatus, so they're going to have a new product sometime soon. But what's going on? What is the objective here? What are they trying to do? It's not even a question of being of a particular ideology. It has got nothing to do with the brand. This is not modern. This is literally, when an agency comes to you and presents 10 different ideas, just hoping one hits, and they present the most generic idea possible. This is what it is. I just cannot believe that anybody working seriously in a branding position as for such an important brand, for such a large brand and such history can possibly approve this. Anyways, I hope I haven't been too unkind. I'm letting myself speak without a filter on purpose because that is the extent of the emotion I feel. I would love if I could have a counter response maybe from the brand explaining what's going on, what is the objective. I would love to understand it. As a car nut, I do not understand it one bit. As a marketer, I find it even worse. It just is a, pardon my French, it just is a shit show. All right. I'll see you next time. Let me know what you think, and thank you for watching.